All right. So we are back with session number 9. Um, Pretty excited about it. We got 4 returning players. Uh, One of them, if they make it all the way through this session, will become a level 3 cleric. So that's pretty nice. Um, we got Arethi, Coil, Ander, and Sage. Um, so this time we're actually not going to start as we do most sessions in the meeting hall with Keen. We're actually going to start uh, last night. So Arethi, after making some sort of deal with a unknown god, um,
Could
is
you blame me?
she can't sleep. She's tossing and she's turning, but she's unable to find any rest. So she kind of stretches her legs and she feels like she's going to go out for a walk, just outside of Gathol. And
Stretch my
then
little bird wings.
and then
Need to see the sky.
basically as soon as she leaves Gathol, the like safety of Gathol, she like her vision just darkens, and she is contacted by a god named Shax. That's Shax.
Cool.
She looks like a sea hag basically,
Ooh.
um, and you find yourself uh, basically sort of torn apart at a molecular level and then put back together. And in this, Shax communicates to you that you are now hers and she will give you some of her power. But if you decide not to be hers anymore, she will take more. She will take everything.
Oh,
And
is my
then
friend gonna be okay?
and then you find yourself back on the island, not the one that you had made the donation to, the larger island with the citrus fruit on it,
Statue one?
the one with the statue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you find yourself there sort of the next morning, and you like wake up and your eyes sort of see the sun. The other islands leading to this island are gone now. They've sunk into the ocean or just gone. So it's a lone island now. And the statue that was just some random person covered in like tentacles and vines and stuff like that is now a statue of you. And it looks like you, but it's like
Concerned bird noises.
but it's covered in like sort of like seawater and seaweed and all that, like those sorts of growths. And then we would you like to do anything here? I'll give you a couple moments before you.
If I've been rebuilt at a molecular level, I do have an idea of how I would look ever so slightly different, but not super different.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and give us what has changed.
So Orethi still looks like a tropical bird with like blue and red and yellow sort of parrot-esque coloration, but her feathers look healthier and shinier and like more fluffy. It's like she's a bird that's been like, you know, when they take penguins that have been covered in oil slicks and they wash them with Dawn dish soap and then they like look better afterwards? It's like that. She's a shiny, happy bird now. She's slightly prettier.
Just don't ask where all that dawn came from, like as long as you overlook that part.
As long as you overlook the eldritch transformation that she did not intend to make, everything's fine.
Yeah. So I think
This is
we
normal and
follow
scary.
I think we follow your viewpoint as we go back into Gathol, and like we see like through your bird eyes, like walking into the Great Hall, and the other 3 have already sort of met, like they're already meeting and discussing the sort of adventure for the day. And you walk into Keen saying, well, we have quite a bit on the docket today. Welcome, Marithi. The others have been here for a
Hi.
little while. So to catch you up a little bit on what happened yesterday, we found a like a tunnel system about maybe an hour, maybe a little bit less walking towards while we were kind of searching around and building our walls and setting that stuff up for the future. Let me swing you guys over to the map. So while we were setting up, these walls and like where we were going to put them and expanding outside to this little settlement here, it's all just in the process of being built. We found a tunnel system. The other group decided to wander in there and explore a little bit and found some snakes. They weren't able to completely finish it, so that's something that if you want to follow up and finish that up, you could. But there's plenty of other stuff to do as well. I'll go over that real quick with you if you'd like. So
more information is always helpful.
Yeah, it's close enough so that if it's cleared out, we can tunnel into it and just add it as like part of Gathol. Like we could just make an add-on. We could go back into the forest, searching the paper, like finding out what that paper dragon has or is hoarding would be a good option. Finding the leaders of the kobolds, like remember Coil and Orethi when you found the kobolds speaking with each other. It seems that they could understand common, so maybe trying to find those kobolds that could speak common, maybe we can find out more information from them. Making it to the mage tower. I think trying to go along the coast and find a boat might be a good option. We've seen a lot of like shipwrecks, so maybe that one was a little bit dangerous. So make sure that if you go, last time someone went over there, we lost someone, so keep that in mind. We could also find out a little bit more. Last time, Coil, when you went out into the Plainslands, you found some gnolls and orcs and goblins. It would be a good idea to find out what the dichotomy is there, what's going on. Also, the cultists. Gravy seems reluctant to go to where they're from. Maybe while he's not here, might be a good option, or where they're going. Both of those would be good options. And those are in the handout, like all the stars there, so you guys can kind of talk. So he sort of opens the floor up to you to what you'd like to investigate.
I'd like to investigate the paper dragon since I am the town librarian.
You're the town librarian? Did I mess up?
Why? What did you put?
I think I may have. 1 second. I didn't realize you were the librarian. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we talked about in my backstory.
Where's the library again? It's
Okay.
the forest?
It's on the second floor. All right, so I'm going to just do a quick cut back. I made a mistake. This is just to the audience. Last episode...
That's the library.
Oh, yeah, this one. This is where the paper dragon is. I made a mistake last episode. I said that Hansel was the head librarian. It is actually Sage, so I messed up, I guess. A lot of players. All right, so now we'll go back in.
I'm okay with that. Trying to find the going back to where that book dragon was or whatever.
Pursuit of knowledge is always noble. We might as well give it a shot.
I think we're all in agreement then.
And that is also on the way to the mage tower. Perhaps we can just continue on from there.
I confess I would like to investigate that myself.
Me too.
Sounds fun.
All right, cool.
We have an agenda.
So, you're on your adventure to the library. So before you leave, let me do a quick potion and healing kit check. Anyone want to buy? How many potions does anyone have?
Ander
oh.
has 1 healing potion.
I have
Nope,
0.
I gave my potion away last time, so I don't have any potions. I did just buy leather armor though. Jazz hands.
Is it on my character sheet?
You wouldn't have any unless you bought some last game.
Okay.
I only have 8 gold, so I can't buy anything.
All right, so you guys can.
I'm still sitting on a pretty healthy amount. I will buy another healing potion,
Okay.
and then Ander is willing to give it to whoever wants it.
I can
He
take
already
it.
has one for himself. There's no reason he should be hanging on to all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some self-protection stuff, so maybe giving it to Sage would be a good idea.
Sure.
Not gonna complain.
Thank you.
Very cool.
No
Pass it along.
Actually, I did want to ask one thing, Jason, because
Mhm.
this is something I ran into that I liked from other players I've run. We are in a dwarven city.
Yep.
Is there a smith anywhere?
Yes, there are. There are 2 sort of head smiths. One of them is second. One of them is a dwarf, and their name is Saini. And then there's another one named Cam, and he's an elf. They're like the 2 head smiths. Like Saini is sort of more like the dwarven, like making weapons and stuff like that. And Cam, who's the elf, is sort of like about making trinkets and stuff like that.
I probably want to talk to San then, you said?
Cam,
Cam?
the
Sorry.
elf. Yep.
Yeah. I would like to ask if there's any kind of pendant or ideally a ring that I could buy off of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could sell you just like a regular ring. Yep.
How much would that cost me?
What like what material do you want it made out of?
Ander is not admittedly particularly picky. Let's go with like a fairly nicer metal, like maybe silver or gold, and see if he can't like adorn a circle of gems within it, similar to the insignia he has on his armor.
Okay, so it's a ring and gems. So I would say that's probably like 20 gold.
Yeah, done.
Related to this kind of thing, since Orethi probably knows who the 2 of you are, but has not personally worked with you, like what would I know about Ander and Sage?
Fair enough. Mel, do you want to go first?
Sure. So Sage is half elf. And they're very, very androgynous looking. They are the head librarian, but like you're not really sure how they became the head librarian. They kind of just started the job, and basically they convinced the town to let them be head librarian, and no one's really actually too sure why, but it's been working so far. Other than that, like they're just very, very mysterious and
Cool. Book friend.
out of character. Sage is a rogue.
Cool.
Ander is a fairly weak looking human. He's typically seen walking around with a staff made of oak and leather armor adorned with a circle of 7 stars on it.
Nice.
Typically on his shoulder you can see a weasel that serves as his familiar, and you have probably most often seen him in the temple sort of preaching about the goddess Mistra, whom he serves, and giving her teachings. He tends to be fairly friendly and sociable to most people. He does his best to get along with everyone, for better or worse.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to add, basically Sage wears all black, has a black belt with weapon holsters, and then a black cloak.
Pretty. Cool. Thank you.
Also to
Welcome.
follow up on so Ander was able to like over the since you missed a session, like so over that downtime, you were able to sort of rekindle some of people's hope to the divine. Not a lot, but every little bit counts at this point. And then Coil, if you'd like to speak with the refugees that you had found captured by the cultists, they're like you can speak to them now.
Oh. So, like, in other words, they're kind of like out of that state that they were in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
They're not like fully functional, like not at 100% yet, but like you can
Okay.
talk to them and stuff.
Greetings. I am Coil.
Hello,
Identify yourself.
hello. I'm Toll. Thank you for taking care of us.
You are most welcome. We look forward to investigating your plight further.
Yeah, it was bad. So for a while things were good. We were living in the community, and every we someone new came in, and then a couple more new people, and I don't know. They always came from the south. He indicates this area
Right.
on your map, and then all of a sudden there weren't many dwarves anymore, and then they would take people, and it would always be under the guise of going somewhere new and going somewhere hopeful, but they would never come back. And then once enough of us were gone, they just started torturing the rest of us. They didn't seem to want to put up like a disguise anymore. They sort of revealed, that they were evil at that time.
I see. That sounds unpleasant.
He nods, and the camera pans down, and he has all these like cuts all over him that have like petrified just a little bit.
How many are left in your community?
I don't think there were many left. Maybe one or two when we left. They took most of us. They said they were taking the rest of us to meet their, I don't know, the thing they worship. I don't know, some sort of demon or something.
What is your community called?
We just called it the last home because we didn't know anyone else.
Are you sure it is not called Forge Home?
No,
You are not sure.
no, it's not called Forge Home.
I see. That made my phone. It thought I was talking to Suri.
Is- oh, I heard you wanted to talk about Forge Home.
Yeah. Please make yourself at home here. If there's
Ow.
anything you need, you can inquire with Gravy.
Thank you. Thank you for all the work you've done.
You are most welcome. I leave. I'll go to the rest of the party and I say, I have spoken with some of the refugees that have come into this community. I think it may be more pressing to save them. They seem to be being tortured and captured and kidnapped.
The ones that aren't with us?
Yes, there were more of them.
What are they using these people for?
They're evil cultists.
What do they worship?
Some kind of demon or something. They were a little vague.
Maybe they don't know.
Yes, I think they are not sure. They were on the way to where the demon is worshipped, so they hadn't gotten there yet. That was their destination.
Where is there?
It is beyond the river,
Hmm.
in the plains.
And that's certainly out of the way, given what we've discussed previously.
Is it
Yes, I agree.
likely that something's going to get worse if we delay?
Well, there might be more death, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Given Gravy's track record with dealing with other cultures, perhaps it is best we try it when he's not here.
I agree.
I don't want to tell anyone else what to do, but if this seems more time sensitive, I'm willing to investigate whatever is most pressing.
I truthfully am a bit uncomfortable leaving the library and the tower, but if this is something we want to investigate, then I will happily join you.
How can we trust these people? Or whatever they are.
I am.
I mean, they're pretty vague about things. Why I need a really good reason to leave this tower.
Well, all that I know is that they're from the same community as Gravy. And he knew them before. And I think the vagueness is more because they don't know what they were walking into. Like, they don't know where they were walking.
Mhm.
But,
Sorry, my phone decided to close Discord, so I missed that.
oh.
They didn't know where they were going, Coyle was
Yeah.
saying.
Okay. I mean, if you think that this is the best decision, then I will stick with the party.
Well,
I'm not happy about it, though.
Neither am I, Sage. However, the information that remains in that library, presumably, is not going anywhere. And while I am no more pleased about it than you, if there are lives on the line and we have the opportunity to intervene, I don't think it's unwise to say that we probably should.
You make a fair point.
That's all I strive to be.
All right.
I guess in the interest of saving lives, let's have at it then.
So you're gonna head out to the last home where Gravy is from.
It's a plan, I guess.
No, we're going to where the cultists, where they were being led.
Okay. All right. I've confused it twice.
Yeah.
All right. Where they're being led. All right. Cool. All right. All right. Cool. So you guys head out. You have all your gear, all that stuff.
All 8 of my gold.
All right. So you walk. The first day's travel is really easy. You walk. You cross this river. You see like all the kind of new structures. Sage and Arethi, you notice as you leave there are 3 giant goats all penned up in this area. They are starting to be domesticated and like all that stuff. It's great. The lumber mill's
It's just
coming.
like some monster hunter, like we put it in a little cage and we're waiting for it to chill out kind of situation.
Coyle and Ander did some really good goat simulation last time. They got you guys some goats.
Good
That
job,
was the
team.
one thing we were unquestionably successful at.
You will also notice some goat horn-sized dents in Coyle's chest plate.
I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Mhm. Yeah. Also, you think that the tunnel leading out of Gathol might be a little bit larger than it used to be. You can feel free to ask them about that later. Um, so you
More
guys
wing
walk
space.
to the road. You guys go to that house that Ander and Coil. You guys found some goblins and stuff there last time. It's cleared out, but you guys haven't searched it yet, and you know this would be like a good first place, like a good place to stop, like and rest for your first night because it's
Sure.
like almost a day. All right.
If things were living here, presumably there's some kind of supplies to be found. It's worth at least looking.
Yeah. So why don't you all go ahead and make me a investigation check?
Oh no.
I have this. God damn it. True to form. Things I'm good at, constantly rolling a 2.
Cool. All right. Give me 1 second here.
My computer's super slow, so I apologize.
Okay. The skills are all on the left-hand side of the sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to make new macros, damn it.
Intelligence. Investigation.
All right, so the rest of you find 5 gold each. And Ander, you're going to find a potion of healing.
Oh, that's
Sort of like you peel up one of floorboards, and you find it and it's loose, and you peel it up, and then there's like a potion hidden under there.
Nice.
I will offer that to Arethi or Coil, whoever thinks they should have it.
Why don't you take it, Orethi?
I already have one.
Well, I would appreciate it. I am kind of hollow-boned.
It's yours.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
There is no reason for me to hoard things that help all of us.
All right, so I want a little bit of role play from y'all as you guys are kind of getting ready and maybe like discuss like watches, who's going to take watch and stuff.
I mean, at least for a little bit, Ander is...
Oh, that's right. Josh doesn't need to sleep.
Nice. Ander is at least going to pull open a spell book he has that, unfortunately, a good number of the pages are blank, but he opens up one of them to a mix of sigils and writings and begins to prepare a ritual, saying that this won't defend us in the night, but will prevent anything from sneaking up on us, at least.
Arethi kind of like bird peeks over with her like little beak at the spells, and it's like the sigils and stuff, and it's like, I have a sinking suspicion I might be familiar with this spell. That's a good idea.
You're certainly welcome to examine it.
Well, if you have any, interest in what I've been working on, I'm not much of a ritualist myself, but I've been finding my magic more dynamic in the last few days. It's very strange.
I'd
Anyway.
certainly love to discuss it more, especially with, admittedly, how few individuals nowadays seem to have any talent for it whatsoever.
It's true. Here, I'll help you prepare the site for your ritual. And she kind of goes over and like sweeps some dirt out of the way so you can put your sigils down and stuff. And
marvelous.
Nice.
Helpful friend. Sweep, 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 sweep.
And shit.
Jason, are there any trees anywhere nearby?
There are a couple of trees. It's like a small Like there's like 2 trees that have grown. Like they used to be probably like apple trees. They still have apples on them or whatever. Like this area around was cultivated a long time ago, but is no longer.
Would Sage be able to climb any of them?
Yeah, you could probably climb one.
So while I appreciate your spells and everything, I like to take a more old school approach to things. So Sage pulls out a dagger from one of their weapon holsters, and kind of gives the party a little wink before pulling their cloak hood over their head and climbing up the tree and kind of sitting back in the tree like they're basically like looking out and ready to spring if needed.
Ah, I understand. A nest. Marithi says extremely confidently before returning to what she's doing.
Love it. All right, so you all nest down for the evening, and it goes by uneventful. You guys set out in the morning. You travel about a half a day's travel, continuing going, and then you come across what looks like a sort of checkpoint or something. Basically, there's a road, and then it curves off abruptly and then continues forward. There's like a little river with a bridge over it, and then like like an actual kind of like half palisade around there. I will show you. You guys are pretty far off. Like this is a big structure, so you see it kind of coming like a ways away. And then the area around here the trees have been sort of leveled off to make this structure. And you see 2 gnolls just sort of patrolling up top. What would you all like to do?
I see 3 gnolls patrolling up top.
Did I miscount?
Yeah, there's
Oh, yeah.
one on the little barricade.
Yeah, I see 3.
Okay.
I
You
guess
see-
there's 3.
You see
There's
3?
3 now.
I'd like to talk to one of them.
Likewise,
I don't-
if we
I don't
can
know where
solve
the-
this.
That's weird. I can't. Is the third one behind the wall or?
There's one at the
No.
top, one in the middle, and one at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bloop. Bloop. Bloop.
Oh, it's off my map. That's why. You guys see a
Yeah.
bigger
Well,
map
that's
than me.
problematic.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second. Editing. Ah, yes, there is one down there. Okay, cool. I'm just putting your characters here. You're not this close.
Cool.
It sounds like people want to speak to them. I'm not opposed.
If this is something that we can solve without violence or the unnecessary taking of life, I think that's perhaps the best course of action. The whole point of us being here is trying to prevent more lives being lost.
It's true.
I agree.
I think perhaps it is best we do not reveal our numbers, though. Speaking to them will affect the element of surprise that we have. But maybe if we can continue to hide our numbers, then we'll still retain some of that surprise.
I can stay farther away.
Admittedly, I can't do much to hide myself. But I consider myself fair with words, if nothing else.
I think you'll find that I'm quite good at hiding myself.
I
If
have the
needed.
greatest of confidence in that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if we should speak with them now, or perhaps try to scout out the area first.
Mm.
Okay. You guys do know that you need to go through this thing in order to get to where, like, that's where the path continues. This seems to
Okay.
deviate.
If they see us snaking around, then any chance of talking to them becomes significantly harder.
That is
What
true.
do you think about their threat level, Coyle? You've been fairly apt at guessing things
assessments.
like that before.
Assessing threat level. Threat level 3, from what I can see, but much remains obscured behind that wall.
Perhaps you're right then. Perhaps it might be wise for only some of us to speak with the gnolls we can see, and maybe having the others lie in wait in case things go poorly is not unwise.
Perhaps you and Sage can go ahead then and leave Coil and I in the back. That way, Sage can stealth, as they are clearly capable of doing so, and you can handle the charisma.
I'm glad you noticed my positive qualities.
I notice everyone's positive qualities.
It seems like as good a plan as any.
All right, cool. So, Ander, you're gonna go up close,
Yep.
and then can you give me a stealth roll, Sage?
Yep. Where did my... Sorry, my computer is slow. Okay, there we go. Stealth.
Nice. All right. Okay, cool. So, Sage, go ahead and place yourself on the map wherever you would like to be hiding.
Right here.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, the roles will change, but yep. All right. Cool. So, Ander, so I guess Coil and Arethi, how far away do you want to be from where you are right now? Like, or right where you are, or?
I think I would probably be further back, like off the edge of the map.
Yeah. Like how far? 30
Um,
feet? 60 feet?
I would say, 1 second. Probably 120 feet
Okay. Arethi?
from Sage.
From Sage. Okay.
Is it
No.
possible? It's hard with the physical limitations of the map space, but my hope is to be within 160 feet of this fellow over here.
From
From this one on the atop above the bridge.
Okay.
Sorry, I just lost my video.
It's okay.
We'll get you back.
All right. Cool. So I put numbers in your blue boxes, and that's how many feet away you are from the thing. So just so we remember if
Great
anything
plan.
happens.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, since I have a lot of long range spells, I might as well be far away.
Cool. Mel, can you try reconnecting?
No, I pressed something. I'm reconnecting now. I pressed something on my computer that closed out my window.
Okay.
I should be back in a second.
All right. Cool. Ander, go ahead and move your character up as close as you'd like, and start talking whenever you're ready.
He's gonna get a. So if he's not stopped, he's gonna get to about like here-ish, presuming they're in earshot. I mean, that's fairly close.
Yeah. All right. So you get there. They don't stop you till you like they look at you while you're on the bridge, And then when you stop, they look at you and kind of cock their head. They speak something in a language you don't understand, unless you understand Knoll.
No, not even close.
Why can't everybody just speak Undercommon like sensible monsters?
Yeah.
So Ander is going to look up to whatever gnolls are examining him and just speak in common. Hello, I wish to speak with you. Can you understand me?
Okay, give me 1 second. All right, there we go. All right, they look at each other. This Knoll walks up and sort of like speaks to this other Knoll in a Knoll language. This Knoll leaves, and then like 2-3 minutes go by, and then a larger Knoll comes up. This one here, and then he speaks to you in common, and he
Okay.
says, "What do you want?"
We wish to speak with you and your people. There have been things that have been concerning coming from this area, and we would like to ask questions about what's been going on, if that is all right with you and yours.
He says, "Go on."
There has been My city has recently taken in refugees coming from this general area. They speak of cultists and demon worship, and we are investigating on their behalf. We are trying to learn what it is they speak of and how it may be stopped.
Can Ander and Sage both make insight check for me?
Yep.
Yes, I can.
Nice.
It's all right.
Cool. So Ander, you notice, but Sage doesn't. When you say another city, this Knoll sort of like gives like a quick side eye to the other Knoll. So this one here. So like the idea of another city like piqued his interest. He says, people pass through with dwarves. Larger people pass through with dwarf people, and they pay us. If you want to pass through to find them, you pay us.
And how much are you asking for?
How many of you are there?
There are 4 of us.
He says, 8 gold.
If you would allow me to approach further, I would happily offer you that tribute.
He nods, and he sort of speaks in a Knoll language, and then a goblin comes out from the door and approaches you and sort of puts his hand out.
I will give him 8 gold.
All right, he leaves.
I
Goes.
relate to this goblin.
he walks in. Give me 1 second here. They like close the door for like a few minutes, and then he kind of looks back, and then he says, "Okay, you can go through."
I'll just sort of like wave over to the 2 people who are like 100+ feet away because I don't have a better way of getting in touch with them immediately.
I mean, it works. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna fly over Because why not? Just like accident, like not necessarily on purpose in character, but like just accidentally displaying the fact that their palisade can do fuck all to stop me from crossing, and just being like, "Hello."
Right, right. So, as you guys walk through, the things that are blacked out are like tents, and you can definitely hear movement inside of them. So there are things inside of these tents, and it's very obvious to you that they're trying to conceal how many of like goblins and gnolls there are here.
That seems
Fair
fine.
enough.
Can I make like an investigation check as we're like passing through, just to like sort of see if I can get a sense of like what's around and how many there might be?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, I'm not gonna like actively, turn things over, like open tent flaps or whatever, but I
Right.
might as well just take a look. See, I have a 20.
You think there might be like a total of like 10-ish creatures here? Like that's sort of the ballpark you think, because the tents aren't very big, so
Mhm.
they like, but neither are goblins. So you think about 10.
Okay. Yep. Everything's just like, time to go.
right.
She'll walk when she actually gets to the thing, but like she's kind of just like.
So you all go through, no problem. We're gonna move you over.
What?
Oh, sorry.
Once we're out of earshot, I say, threat level unknown still.
I think there's 10 of them. Aretha will think she's whispering to Coil, but is actually psychically projecting into his brain.
Coil then says, interesting. Threat level 5.
All right.
Well, it's they are at least amenable enough, and there's no reason to start fights where they don't need to be started.
Cool. So you guys travel for the rest of the day unimpeded, and now we're going to go to your campsite here. This I removed all the trees and the rocks because you're in sort of a plainsy type area.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me a little bit of role play for this night.
Okay. Ander is gonna crack his book back open, head inside both of these tents and start preparing that same ritual he prepared back in the house. Jason, for your notes, I am gonna be casting Alarm.
Aretha will be like chilling by the fire, like doing her like, okay, I'm gonna go over my spells for the night and kind of thing. She's kind of like staring at this one page for a while, like, I don't remember writing this one down. Huh. And then you see her like, she picks up a stick, she writes some symbols on the ground, she kind of looks at her spell book, she looks at the symbols, she looks at the spell book again, kind of scratches her little bird feather head and is like,
Cool. All right. So, during the night, Sage, since there are no trees here, how are you going to be sleeping? Just in a tent, or are you going to change it up?
So Sage is going to spend most of the night, basically kind of like circling around the tents, but doing like almost like they're like practicing like being stealthy, like they're gonna kind of like roll around and practice, and they're gonna do that for most of the night, and then eventually they will go in one of the tents so they can get some sleep, so they are awake enough to be actually stealthy without falling asleep.
Mission Impossible. We definitely can't afford the Mission Impossible theme.
No, that's the closest we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So, the night is pretty uneventful. Coil, you see some orcs at some point walk by, but they don't notice you or anything like that. Like there's like 3 orcs. They walk by. They don't accost you in any way. So
Okay.
you don't wake up or do anything like that. If you want to wake up and stop them, that's a different story. But if you're like, nope, I'm just gonna let them walk by and not notice me, then that's fine.
Yeah, I think I would just let them walk by. I might not. Well, I would probably hear them, but I probably can't see them.
Oh yeah, that's true because you don't have night vision, right? Yeah, so you hear them, but they're in a distance, just some people walking.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Do I have any more weird dreams, or am I just good? Am I just gonna have to accept that my reality is weird forever now?
Oh, actually, you know what? This is kind of the first night sleeping under the stars. So let me do that. This has been a cow that was launched a long time ago that I've been waiting to fall. So you guys see during the nighttime, it seems like the stars are much closer to the ground, like not like physically larger, but you know, like like when you look up at the sky, you feel like there's a distance there. Here, it seems like it's like much closer. The other things are there's sort of like an aurora borealis up in the sky during the nighttime, but it seems like it's made of like blood. Like it seems less like lights and more like liquid, and it's sort of that red, like wavy sort of thing. And every once in a while, there's like lightning, like lightning happens, but it doesn't like land anywhere. It's just up there.
I fear I've spent far too much time surrounded by stone and steel, and I haven't spent enough appreciating the sky for what it is.
I almost feel like I could fly up there and touch it. Part of me wants to.
It's a little too bright for me. Somebody might see me.
Darkness is good. She pulls
Plenty
up.
of it underground.
They kind of
Darkness
pull
is
up their
good,
cloak a
but
little.
Nothing can hide from the gods.
You don't
Is
know me well enough.
Is no one going to mention the blood in the sky?
I mean, is that normal?
I doubt it is.
I don't know. Well, I've only seen the
Have-
sky a couple times.
Have we ever been outside at night? Outside of Gathol?
You've been
Think only
outside,
under
but
the
you've always
trees.
been under a canopy. So you never,
Okay.
like, no one has actively looked up at the sky and sort of experienced this or looked at it or said they looked at it. One time, Donnie did, but I was like, oh wait, nope, there's a canopy there, so he didn't get a chance.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I should try and. Well, I mean, it does look kind of close. And I haven't gotten too many chances to fly at length. It's kind of like bouncing with excitement in the like, maybe I should take off. Maybe I should take off like right now. Maybe I should fly up there. And then she's like, I'll be right back.
All right, so you're gonna just fly straight up and try and touch the sky.
Yeah, she'll go like, 50 feet, see if it feels any different. Then another 50 feet, see if
Right.
it feels any different.
Yeah, at 100 feet, it's the air is getting thinner, but it's not like nothing changes at that point.
Does the aurora borealis blood look like blood still, or is it like more gaseous when I'm this far up?
It definitely looks like a liquid.
Okay, I'm gonna do something stupid. I would like to like, cut my little bird hand open and like see if I can bleed in the sky and see what happens.
So you're trying. Well, you're going closer to it. Is what you're saying.
Can I do it at 100 feet?
No. I mean, it's not like you could touch it. It just feels close. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so I mean, you could try to get closer if you want, but at 100 feet, you're like not there yet.
Well, starting at 100 feet, I'll try and see if I can stick my blood to the sky, just in case. I don't expect it to work, but you never know. I'm going to
No.
take the scientific method here.
Nothing changes at 100 feet. You sort of do that, and nothing happens.
Alright, well, I only have a constitution of 10, so I can't hold my breath for, like, incredibly long time, but I'll give it another 50 feet, and then at that point, I might have to turn back.
Okay, I'm gonna need you at 50 feet. I'm gonna need you to make a Constitution saving throw, or like
Okay.
150 feet rather.
Okay. The bloop. That's actually a 3 because I forgot to change my macro when I was molecularly reset.
Right. Yeah. So a vision of your god appears to you, and says you're not supposed to be here, and then you just start falling. Just
Whoops.
give me an athletics or an acrobatics check for me.
Sure.
You guys see her fly up to a certain point, and then her wings just like sort of freeze up, and then she just starts to free fall.
That's not good.
I'm
If-
sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it's fine. I have actually quite good in this. But I probably have jinxed it.
Jason, if that doesn't work, can Sage basically try to like Mission Impossible catch her?
It does work. Luckily, you both would have died. Like,
I got you.
falling damage is the most damage in this game.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, they like in the olden days, like warrior or fighters could just jump off of griffins at full height and live, and then just like keep fighting. So they really did away with that.
This is
Really?
why
How
like
much-
Featherfall is on my spell list, but I didn't do
How much
anything with
does
it.
it do now?
It does a lot.
It's 1d. I think it's like 1d6 per 5 feet or something.
Oh,
I
per
think it's
5
56
feet.
every 10 feet, but yeah.
It used to be. It's always been that though, I think.
Still a lot.
But it capped out at 100 feet. So the most you'd ever take is 10d6, which was why fighters could just jump off griffins.
By the way, I rolled a 22, so hopefully I'm
Yeah.
okay.
It's 20d6 is the maximum now.
Okay.
Did I succeed at bleeding on the sky at least?
You did not. No.
Oh well, I tried.
Coil, when it looks like she's tumbling, Coil says, "Quick, cast Featherfall." But he looks to Onder and Sage.
Like quick, somebody.
Just he like sort of like awkwardly looks away, just like
Imagine a bird getting blasted by a leaf blower and then being like, "Oh, I don't know what to do," and like, she kind of figures it out, and there's a lot of like awkward flapping, and then she kind of like lands on the ground and is like, "I wasn't supposed to be up there, apparently."
you're all right now, though.
Yeah, I'm fine. She says, literally bleeding. It'll be all right. But
You're
I didn't figure
bleeding.
anything out. Well, I was hoping I could stick my blood to the sky, but it didn't work. Maybe I'll try after the tower at some point in the future. Start at a high place. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine.
All right. So the next day happens. You guys start traveling. You get about halfway, like half of the day's travel in, and something's gonna change. We're gonna go to a break right now before whatever happens, because it's gonna be a thing.